we need to talk about cocaine. Not the glamorous version you see in movies. Not the party drug that celebrities casually joke about. But the real story. Across Europe, cocaine is spreading faster than ever before. From nightclubs in Berlin to corporate offices in London, from ports in Rotterdam to quiet towns in Eastern Europe, what once seemed like a luxury drug used only by the rich and powerful has quietly become one of the most widespread illegal substances on the continent. Today, millions of Europeans use cocaine every year, but behind every gram of that white powder, there's a hidden world most people never see, a world of addiction, violence, organized crime, and global trafficking networks worth billions of dollars. So how did cocaine become one of Europe's biggest drug problems? Where does it actually come from? And what really happens when it enters the human brain? To understand the crisis, we have to start with the people using it. Meet Daniel. By day, Daniel works a normal office job in a large European city. He wakes up early, drinks coffee, and spends most of his day answering emails and attending meetings. Like millions of young professionals across Europe, his life looks completely ordinary. But on weekends, things are different. On Friday night, Daniel meets his friends at a crowded nightclub. The music is loud. The lights are flashing. The drinks keep coming. At some point during the night, someone disappears into the bathroom. A few minutes later, they come back smiling. Soon, Daniel is invited to join them. Inside the small club bathroom, a thin white line is placed on the edge of a phone screen. A rolled-up banknote appears. And just like that, Daniel tries cocaine for the first time. At first, it feels incredible. Within minutes, his energy explodes. He feels more confident, more talkative, more alive. Suddenly, the music sounds better. The conversations feel easier. And the night seems endless. For many people, this is how it starts. Just one line, just one party, just once. But what many users don't realize is how quickly cocaine can take control. When cocaine enters the body, it travels rapidly through the bloodstream and reaches the brain within minutes. Once inside the brain, cocaine interferes with one of the most important chemical systems in the human body, the dopamine system. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter responsible for motivation, pleasure, and reward. Every time you accomplish something important, eat good food, or experience joy, your brain releases small amounts of dopamine. This system evolved to encourage survival and healthy behavior, but cocaine hijacks it. Instead of allowing dopamine to be recycled normally, cocaine blocks the brain's natural reabsorption process. This causes dopamine levels to skyrocket. The result is an intense feeling of euphoria. Users suddenly feel powerful, energetic, confident, and extremely focused. Heart rate increases. Blood pressure rises. The brain enters a state of intense stimulation. But the high doesn't last long. In most cases, the peak effect lasts between 20 and 40 minutes. After that, dopamine levels crash, and the brain begins demanding more. This is where the real danger begins. Because cocaine's short high often encourages repeated use. Users take one line, then another, then another. Over time, the brain adapts. The natural dopamine system becomes less sensitive. This means users need larger amount of cocaine to achieve the same feeling. Scientists call this tolerance. But tolerance is only the first step toward addiction. As the brain becomes dependent on cocaine for dopamine release, everyday activities start to feel less enjoyable. Music feels dull. Food tastes less satisfying. Social interactions feel empty. Without cocaine, the brain struggles to experience pleasure at all. And this is when users begin relying on the drug, not just for fun, but to feel normal. The long-term effect of cocaine can be devastating. Regular users face increased risks of heart attacks, strokes, and severe cardiovascular problems. The drug places enormous stress on the heart and blood vessels. Even young and otherwise healthy individuals can suffer fatal complications. But the damage isn't only physical. Cocaine also has powerful psychological effects. Heavy users often develop anxiety disorders. Some experience paranoia or hallucinations. Others suffer from severe depression during the crash that follows each high. In extreme cases, prolonged use can permanently change a person's personality. Relationships break down, careers collapse, and addiction slowly begins to dominate every aspect of life. But the damage caused by cocaine goes far beyond the individual user, because before that white powder ever reaches a nightclub or party, it travels through one of the most dangerous criminal industries in the world. Thousands of kilometers away from Europe, deep in the jungles of South America, a small green plant grows on mountain slopes. This plant is called the coca plant. For thousands of years, indigenous communities in the Andes have chewed coca leaves for their mild stimulant effects. The leaves help people endure long journeys, high altitudes, and exhausting labor. But the modern cocaine industry has transformed this ancient plant into something far more powerful. Today, coca is grown in massive plantations across countries like Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia. Farmers harvest the leaves multiple times each year. These leaves are then processed in hidden jungle laboratories. The process involves a mixture of dangerous chemicals: gasoline, sulfuric acid, cement powder, and other industrial substances. Through a series of chemical reactions, the coca leaves are converted into a thick paste. This paste is then refined into pure cocaine powder. Once the drug is ready, it enters a global trafficking network controlled by powerful criminal organizations. The modern cocaine trade is worth tens of billions of dollars every year. Drug cartels oversee nearly every stage of the process, from production to international transportation to street-level distribution. Smugglers use countless methods to move cocaine across borders, hidden inside cargo containers, inside vehicles, inside shipping crates, and sometimes even inside specially designed submarines known as narco-subs. Much of the cocaine entering Europe travels through major ports such as Antwerp, Rotterdam, and Hamburg. Millions of shipping containers pass through these ports every year. Inspecting each one is nearly impossible. As a result, enormous quantities of cocaine successfully enter Europe. Authorities seize hundreds of tons annually. But experts believe that a large percentage of shipments are never detected.
Secure the perimeter! Get that tape up now! Perimeter is set. Moving to document. Watch that smoke! Check for evidence near the cars.
Wherever large amounts of money are involved, violence often follows, and the cocaine trade generates enormous profits. Producing 1 gram of cocaine in South America may cost only a few dollars, but by the time it reaches European streets, that same gram can sell for up to 100 euros. This massive profit margin fuels organized crime networks. Across Europe, criminal groups compete for control of drug markets. This competition can lead to brutal violence. Shootings, bombings, kidnappings, assassinations. Entire criminal organizations have emerged around cocaine trafficking. Some operate across multiple countries. Others control specific cities or neighborhoods. But all of them are connected through the same global supply chain, a supply chain powered by addiction. Despite these dangers, many users believe they are different. They believe they can control their consumption. They tell themselves it is only occasional, only at parties, only on weekends. But addiction rarely begins with the intention of becoming addicted. It begins quietly, gradually, almost invisibly. Over time, the line between recreational use and dependency begins to blur. And by the time many users realize the problem, the habit is already deeply rooted. Cocaine may appear glamorous in movies and pop culture, but the reality is far darker. Behind every line lies a complex network of addiction, crime, and global trafficking. From the jungles of South America to the ports of Europe to the clubs and offices where it is consumed, the cocaine industry touches millions of lives. And as its popularity continues to grow, so do the risks. Because cocaine doesn't just affect the person using it. It affects families, communities, entire countries. And unless something changes, Europe's cocaine crisis may only continue to grow.